So then I have recognized that I have a problem. I have done extensive search through memory, Google, and even talked to friends. And I have identified 5 or 6 alternatives, and I've narrowed it down to the one I'm going to choose, and I have to make the decision. And again, I can drop out, I can decide not to buy. But if I decide to buy, then I choose the alternative. And there's a couple things going on here at the decision stage. You want to reduce friction. You want to eliminate barriers to making a decision that's favorable to you and encourage or introduce things that make it easier. So when it comes time to actually make the purchase, is if the product's in stock so that they can walk away with it, that's good. If I'm looking for a candy bar and they don't have my candy bar, do I go to the manager and say, I can't help but notice that you're out of my favorite candy bar? Can you tell me when they're going to be back in stock? Or do you go for another one? Sometimes. I do both. You owe me a free candy bar, and I'm going to buy this one right now. But again, if it's in stock, if I have to wait for it, and some products people are willing to wait for, some products people are not willing to wait for. Similarly, financing, if I can reduce the financial risk associated with the product, it makes it easier to buy. A guarantee also reduces the financial risk associated with the product, so it makes it easier to buy. And then, we talked about this before, in addition to evaluating the product, people are going to evaluate the source of the product. So it's not just, is this the best product, but anybody here would buy a diamond engagement ring at Walmart? They sell them. So, yeah. Okay, I need you to sit in the other room. Maybe that was a good diamond if you couldn't tell. You know, zirconium's just about the same. As long as they hide the price tag. Why wouldn't you buy a diamond ring at Walmart? Because it's Walmart. Walmart's not where you buy diamond rings, right? Walmart's where you buy inexpensive stuff. Now, you know, if you're me, I'd buy it at Walmart and get a Tiffany box. Because Tiffany boxes are a lot cheaper than Tiffany rings. You don't need to tell anybody in my family about this strategy. But again, so it's not just the product, but is it appropriate to buy the product from, and looking at, you get this a lot of times with, one of the reasons that Amazon is so attractive to many people is because Amazon stands behind the product even if they're not the ones who sell it. So if I buy through Amazon, even if it's somebody else's product, Amazon will enforce the guarantee. That means I might be more likely to buy it at Amazon than I would from another retailer just because of the reputation of the retailer. And then, oops. Okay, so then I've bought the product and then I have experience with the product. Satisfaction is when the experience with the product meets or exceeds the expectations associated with that product. So was the customer satisfied? And then there's a lot that goes on after the purchase. We talked earlier about marketing today is not so much about individual transactions, but it's about lifetime value of a customer or customer relationships. So when a customer has made an initial purchase, that's an opportunity to begin a relationship. And if it's a repeat purchase, again, it's a time to reinforce the relationship. So you want to make sure that the customer is satisfied. How do you know customers are satisfied? I've got a couple examples here. You can ask them, are you satisfied with your purchase? And just so you know, the single most effective question for assessing customer satisfaction is the question, would you recommend this product to a friend? And because you've been in this class, you can tell me why that is the most effective question. Yes?
Because the first strategy is single. When you think of game deciding to get something, you think of your memory, and then after that you ask a friend. And if a friend recommends it, you're going to get it.
Okay, I like the way you're thinking. You're on the wrong page. That's great. You're still at the evaluate alternatives, but I'm in the decision stage. And based on what we know so far, why would when I say recommend it to a friend is the most powerful measure of satisfaction? Yes?
It shows product satisfaction satisfaction,
It shows product satisfaction.
and it shows like if the person who bought it would buy again and recommend to more people. That's like,
Okay, so but the question was not, would you buy this product again? The question was, would you recommend this product to a friend? Because I can say, would you buy this product again? And that's less effective a measure than, would you recommend to a friend? Yes?
Maybe because if you offer something for your friend that kind of puts your reputation.
Exactly. So when I recommend it to a friend, I'm putting my social reputation at stake. And we talked about social risk. I'm actually increasing my social risk. So if somebody is willing to risk damage to their reputation by recommending a product, that's a powerful indicator of satisfaction. And usually that's when people love a product. It's like, I like it so much, I can't wait to tell my friends. You've had that, right? But again, so if you have to ask one question for satisfaction, that's it. And it relates directly to social risk. Yes, you had a question, comment?
I was just going to kind of go off.
Okay. So, can you talk louder? My ears aren't very good.
If you're putting in like the conscious effort to like go out and talk about a product, and that feels like really good for you.
Okay, so in addition to increasing social risk, I'm actually making an effort. I'm actually doing something like, yeah, anybody ever filled out those warranty cards? They used to do warranty cards where you had to put your own stamp on them. We really want to hear what you have to say. Pay us $1 and we'll listen. Or even if they have the website where you go back for your survey. Anybody ever do that? Click on this and tell us what you think. And sometimes they'll push it in your face. You know, hello, would you mind saying how much you love us? And anybody actually ever do that? Sometimes, but again, it's effort. So a good effort. So again, it's an opportunity to develop the relationship, and again, a lot of fan sites. One of the buzzwords recently, although it's less popular right now, is the concept of a community. Just allowing people to get together and share how much they love the product and share feelings with each other. And then post-sale service, this is a way to develop the relationship. And I think the best example of post-sale service is with the BMW car. Anybody here drive a BMW car? Can I get it right home with you? What's the deal with service with a BMW car?
It's expensive and you have to take it in all the time.
No. Not the truth, what they say. It's expensive. It's expensive. So when you buy the car, did you buy it new?
No.
Oh, who bought it new? Did you buy it new? Oh, okay. You bought it new? You bought one new, and what's the deal with service? You have to buy a service package? If you want to save money. Okay, well, maybe I'm misinformed. My understanding was that routine maintenance is free. For 4 years. Routine maintenance is free for 4 years. So think about that. Is for 4 years, and what's the average lifespan of ownership? What's the average lifespan of ownership of a car? 3-4 years, something like that. Okay. So for 4 years, I'm offering you free maintenance, which means like oil change. And how much does it cost, not the customer, but the dealer to change the oil? No, not the customer, the dealer. $10, $5? It's the oil and the labor? Okay, so for 4 years, I have you coming back into the showroom every now and then. I get to make sure that your car is running nice. It comes back all shiny and washed, right? So you can continue to be in love with your car. And you're seeing all the new stuff that's on the showroom. And what are you likely to do the next time it's come to buy a car? So for how much did it cost you to develop that relationship over 4 years and increase the likelihood of a return customer compared to what I would have to do to advertise to a new customer to get them interested into a BMW to buy it in the first place? So again, the idea is post-sale service is a way of developing that relationship and also keeping you aware of what new product opportunities are. There's a fun phenomenon that happens sometimes when people buy products. You may have heard the term buyer's remorse. And this relates to Kurt Lewin's field theory or cognitive dissonance. And what cognitive dissonance is all about is when there is a difference between who we think we are and who we actually are, it causes tension. And we're uncomfortable with that. And we have to resolve that tension either by changing. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Huh. Either by changing the reality or changing the perception. Okay? And this occurs primarily when it's a high involvement purchase and when there's a big difference between the alternatives that you considered. So for example, if it comes to candy bars and if it's a Hershey bar versus a Nestle's bar, oh no, chocolate versus chocolate, yeah, who cares? But when it comes to car, think about this. I'm buying a new car. I'm looking at the Beamer, looking at the BMW, and I'm also looking at a used Honda Civic. Okay? And while I'm in that process of evaluating the alternatives, I can imagine, okay, I'm driving that Beamer, and I got people looking at me saying, man, that guy knows something about gas mileage and resale value. And you can imagine yourself, or you've done this when you buy it, right? Oh, could you picture yourself? And then also I'm in the Honda, and it's good, and low miles, good, And I end up deciding on the Honda because it's the best decision. Okay? What happens is at the moment you make that decision, all you can think about is the one that got away. Because until you had decided on the Honda, you could have been a Beamer driver, right? And then once you've made that decision, that goes away forever, and that's like, oh, I'm not going to be the, all of those wonderful things that I've been dreaming about, and the people I was going to impress with my fuel economy and resale value, that's all gone right now. The relationships that I was going to enter into because of people being impressed with my engineering, that's all gone. And so again, it was the rational decision, it was the right decision, but at the time you make the decision, immediately all you can think about is the one that got away. And again, that only is a situation where there's a lot of at stake, like a car, and where there's a big difference. So if it was like between a Lexus and a Mercedes, either one, who cares? But if it's between a used Honda Civic and a Beamer, anybody here got married? What could you think about right after you said yes? All the ones that got away. So long, Brad Pitt. But again, this is just and again, the way that you resolve this is you have to change the perception or change the reality. Having chosen the Civic, you can't change the reality. You need to change the perception, and that takes time. That's what this buyer's remorse is all about.